Good day, and thank you, Sister Jeannie, for those beautiful flowers, again, for the altar. And please remind me I have to get rosaries over to Peter, and if you can help me remember, I'm too many things on my mind. Good day, how is everyone today? Hello, CJ, Denise, Maria, you're here. I didn't expect you to be here. You got a big smile on. Are you finished, or are you still gonna go? Anyway, what a wonderful woman she is, a trooper, really, and more than you know, okay? More than you know. And so today is Thursday, August 15th, 2023, and we know Dayam is already in where she needs to be. Yes, it's finished. It went smooth. See? Wonderful. That's great. Okay, good. And remember, embrace the pain. Okay, that's what we were talking about yesterday. Because when we curse the pain, we end up going in the river. Okay, we embrace the pain. That takes us the steps over the bridge and into heaven and peace. And Lucy, thank you for sharing your experience with Deam Matronam Nostrae. That was beautiful. And again, more ways than one. I think we're entering a time of miracles, and we're going to see more and more of them. Legitimate ones, not these fake news internet ones. Okay, so share them with me as you feel called. All right, let's get started. I have a little bit of a long one. I think I'm going to break it into today and Saturday. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. I am taking, seems like I travel a lot. I wish they were all vacations. This one is going to be a little bit of a vacation. All right, so we're going to leave Saturday after Mass and go visit with some friends who are coming up from New York. And we're going to be in Vermont and at a lakeside lodge for Sunday. And I'm going to, again, if things work out well, I will have Mass from there on Sunday. And Monday morning I will not be back yet. Depending again how things go there, I'll have Mass up there Monday morning. All right, I think that gets all the regular things out. Let's get right to morning prayers. Oh, and tomorrow is Free for All Fish on Friday. There was one more F that I missed. Fasting, if you want. That's tomorrow. And we're going to continue on with the straw man. It's a very interesting topic. Not something that I encourage a lot of action on because it kind of gets into the worldly, but it is a matter of truth. So that one we act and go very slowly with, as we should do all things. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation, venerate the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. Let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany. Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Okay, we're going to continue on the general method by which every rational creature can come out of the sea of the world and go to the aforesaid Holy Bridge. We're reading from the Dialogue of St. Catherine of Siena. I will now return to the 3 steps which you must climb in order to issue from the river without drowning, and attain to the living water, to which you are invited, and to desire my presence in the midst of you. For in this way in which you should follow, I am in your midst, reposing by grace in your souls. In order to have desire to mount the steps, you must have thirst, because only those who thirst are invited. Whosoever thirsteth, let him come to me and drink. He who has no thirst will not persevere, for either fatigue causes him to stop or pleasure. And he does not care to carry the vessel with which he may get the water, and neither does he care for the company, and alone he cannot go. And he turns back at the smallest prick of persecution, for he loves it not. He is afraid because he is alone. Were he accompanied, he would not fear. And had he ascended the 3 steps, he would not have been alone, and would therefore have been secure. You must then have thirst, and gather yourselves together, as it is said, 2 or 3 or more. Why is it said 2 or 3 or more? Because there are not 2 without 3, nor 3 without 2, neither 3 nor 2 without more. The number 1 is excluded, for unless a man has a companion, I cannot be in the midst. This is no indifferent trifle, for he who is wrapped up in self-love is solitary. Why is he solitary? Because he is separated from my grace and the love of his neighbor. And being by sin deprived of me, he turns to that which is not, because I am he that is, so that he who is solitary, that is, who is alone in self-love, is not mentioned by my truth and is not acceptable to me. He then says, if there be 2 or 3 or more gathered in my name, I will be in the midst of them. I said to thee that 2 were not without 3, nor 3 without 2, and so it is. Thou knowest that the commandments of the law are completely contained in 2, and if these 2 are not observed, the law is not observed. The 2 commandments are to love me above everything, and thy neighbor as thyself, which 2 are the beginning, the middle, and the end of the law. These 2 cannot be gathered together in my name without 3. That is, without the congregation of the powers of the soul, the memory, the intellect, and the will. The memory to retain the remembrance of my benefits and my goodness. The intellect to gaze into the ineffable love, which I have shown thee by means of my only begotten Son, Deum Iesum Christum, whom I have placed as the object of the vision of your intellect, so that in him you behold the fire of my charity, and the will to desire, the will to love and desire me, who am your end. When these virtues and powers of the soul are congregated together in my name, I am in the midst of them by grace, and a man who is full of my love and that of his neighbor suddenly finds himself the companion of many and royal virtues. Then the appetite of the soul is disposed to thirst. Thirst, I say, for virtue and the honor of my name and salvation of souls, and his every other thirst is spent and dead. And he then proceeds securely without any servile fear, having ascended the first step of the affection. For the affection, stripped of self-love, mounts above itself and above transitory things. Or, if he will still hold them, he does so according to my will. That is, with a holy and true fear and love of virtue. He then finds that he has attained to the second step, that is, to the light of the intellect, which is, through Deum Iesum Christum crucified, mirrored in cordial love of me. For through him have I shown my love to man. He finds peace and quiet, because the memory is filled with my love. Thou knowest that an empty thing, when touched, resounds, but not so when it is full. So memory, being filled with the light of the intellect, and the affection with love, on being moved by the tribulations or delights of the world, will not resound with disordinate merriment or with impatience, because they are full of me, who am every good. Having climbed the 3 steps, he finds that the 3 powers of the soul have been gathered together by his reason in my name, and his soul, having gathered together the 2 commandments, that is, love of me and of the neighbor, finds herself accompanied by me, who am her strength and security, and walks safely because I am in the midst of her. Wherefore, then he follows on with anxious desire, thirsting after the way of truth, in which way he finds the fountain of the water of life, through his thirst for my honor and his own salvation and that of his neighbor, without which thirst he would not be able to arrive at the fountain. He walks on, carrying the vessel of the heart, emptied of every affection and disordinate love of the world, but filled immediately as it is emptied with other things, for nothing can remain empty. And being without disordinate love for transitory things, it is filled with love of celestial things, and sweet divine love, with which he arrives at the fountain of the water of life, and passes through the door of Deum Iesum Christum crucified, and taste the water of life, finding himself in me, the sea Pacific. And I'm going to add with Deum Matronum Nostrae. Okay, then we'll stop there for today. Again, much to contemplate. Highly recommend getting this book, and then you can. Apparently, it's available for download, so you can get a hold of it and contemplate different sections. Just read them slowly when you're ready to contemplate. And if you're home alone, the 2 or 3 or more is here with us, so you're good to go. Deum vobiscum et quoque apud. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Hanc Immaculatum Hostiam, quam ego indignus famulus tuus offenditibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro inimicibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus sere pro omnibus fidelibus Catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilitut condidis et mirabilis reformasti da nobis spiritus atquae et divini mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortis qui humanitatis nostrae fieri dignatis parteceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum de peccatis clementium, ut conspectu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra a totius mundi salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito, suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum et succeat sacrificium nostrum, et conspectu tuo hodie, ut placia tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni Sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite blata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas Sancta Oblationum cum tibi efferimus, a memoriam passiones, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae, et a Papa Peter Sanctorum et Istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dignentur in caelis coram amorem agimus interis per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat opus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudem et gloriam nomini sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram, totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igito clementes me mater pater de matram nostrae, dem patrum spiritum sanctum, pedem Iesum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus et petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium irribata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodire ad honore, et regere digneris toto urbi terrarum atquae catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum famronque tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Maria Josephina Mose, Katie Gage, Eleanor Lively, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Ann Bultink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLarnon and family, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, the Cahill, Kendrick, Dasco, Nye, Tafour, Began, Wolf, and Kane families. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sedevacantist Catholic Council office at Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, any kind of abuse, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange, with no usury, and a real justice system. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society and begin preparations now to learn what that is. We pray for wisdom on how to prepare our own foods and to raise animals and to share with our neighbors, to learn preservation methods for food, to practice, to start somewhere, even if you think you don't know. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask for a return to godly femininity, that women cease working for Freemasons and corporations, and that they come to understand that raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for beginning a Catholic monarchical society filled with peace and joy. We ask that all pornography and the OnlyFans platform be stopped, shut down immediately. We ask that you destroy the satanic document of Vatican law, which is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican and recognize the transfer of the authority of the Catholic Church to be in Portugal, and that you release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus and any Jew or Freemason. All these things we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantiam quorum tibi fides, cognita est et nota devotio pro quibus tibi afferimus, vel qui tibi offro hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum, pro spe salutis et calamitatis suae, tibi credum vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et momentum venerantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum maternam nostrae, et de Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis, praecibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae, muniamur exilio per in Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratum acceptabile fecit dignidis ut nobis corpum, et sanguim fiat dictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pater et ora cepit panem in sanctis hoc venerabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ad idem Patrum Spiritum Sanctum sum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit didique lunis sui dicens, accipite et mandacate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonia est accipiens, et hunc praeclarum cadecement sancta sacco venerabilis manus suas item tibi gratias agens dem Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Consecravit didique luminis sui dicens, accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum. Haec est cum purificeritis in meno facientis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae passiones nec non et eb in fidis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis, offerimus praeclare maiestati tuae de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio ac sereno vutu respicere digneris. Supplices te ragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibi hic per fide per manus tuum, ut quod ex hoc altaris participationis sacro sanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsenimus, omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia repe amor per innum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Anne Scott, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quiscentibum locum refugere illucis et pacis ut odorge est procamor per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Per quem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matram omnipotentium in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Tecum. Dea matronam nostrae, matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Deum matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tuae, aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbationis securi. Per indum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui ticum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sed semper vobiscum et quoque te. Haec commixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, Fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. In pax tecum, et quoque apote, Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, qua prante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per sacrossum cum corpus et sanguinum tuum abondibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis, et fac me tui semper inhalate mandatis, et et nunquam separati permittas, qui cum eo dem Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio copris tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere praesimo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, se pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutumentum mentis copris, et ad medelam percipiendam, qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. In panem caelestem accipiem, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrum non sunt dignius, Treatise tete meis in tante verbos in abeturanum mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, Treatise tete meis in tante verbos in abeturanum mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, Treatise tete meis in tante verbos in abeturanum mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis mei salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Quod oris sumus Deum Iesum Christum pidem et capiam et septem unum et tempora fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod subsit sanguis, quem potavi, et haeriet visceribus meis, et praesta ut sacrificium, ut in me non remenia, scela macula quem pura sancta reficere sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque abote. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids. We beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins, and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque abote, ite mise est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificium quod oculis tuae majestatis in unus auctoritibus et acceptabilimi, quae et omnibus pro quibus irut auctolis siti miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gratias. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinitarian Theophany, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. One thing before we leave, we had a little package arrive yesterday. I want to show it to you. These are the newest members of our group. There's 7 more where these came from. Can you say hello? These are barred rocks, baby barred rocks, and they lay very well. Lots of eggs. Want to hold them? Sister Jeannie's going to hold them for me while I say goodbye. All right. So if I can raise chickens, you can raise chickens, okay? And please go and sanctify all those who meet. Remember, the schedule is going to be a little bit different on Sunday and Monday. And tomorrow is free-for-all Friday, fish on Friday. And we'll look forward to seeing you then, okay? Again, sanctify all those who meet. Share the Trinitarian Theophany. I'll see you tomorrow.